What's up guys, Gamblrr here, and chapter 1151 of the One Piece manga came out, and of course, you know I gotta get into it, because we finally got Sanji on those damn pages. I really don't care about anything else, so go ahead and like, subscribe, enjoy the video, and of course, believe in Sanji. Alright, so apparently Yamato is still getting cover story coverage. It's been like 35 chapters since this damn story started. Yamato literally beat the big bad and we're still following whatever they're doing. Release me! I don't care about this anymore. Do us a favor and give us a Momo or something. We've seen Yamato save OT in page 1. We've seen Yamato defeat Who's Who. What is next? I'll tell you what's next. Nothing interesting. As I'm recording this, the cover story could be set up for Yamato finding Big Mom and Kaido. Unironically, I've been seeing theories about that. Do y'all think they would come back? And if y'all do you think Yamato's about to recover them? Damn, I know I say this every week that I gotta let the cover story cook, but when I'm watching Yamato do sumo wrestling, I just gotta hate. Not a single bone in my body loves this character. Oh yeah, and I still didn't reread Elbaf, but on tax sold during this break week, I'm going to read it, so I got 2 weeks to do it. The chapter starts off with one of the giants trying to talk the captains out of their mission, even though they're like completely possessed and transformed. I feel like I've seen this many times before in the series, like clearly talking to them isn't going to change the circumstances. Dory and Broggy literally aren't themselves anymore. Them sending a whole bunch of giants flying last chapter should have been direct confirmation of that. Broggy says that the giant is correct. They did used to look up to Jarul and he was legendary, but the elder they all idolize is just a broken old man now. That's why it's up to them to put him out of pasture, and after that, Dory finishes Broggy's sentence saying that they will reign as the new kings of Elbaf. The kingdom has no need for idols or gods. It's time for them to call forth a new era of war, an age ruled by the strong. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, even though they are bugging, they're about to assassinate their idol and take up the mantle themselves. Why does this sound like what Elbaf was always supposed to be? This might be because I need to reread Elbaf, but I think I remember in one of these chapters that someone noted how peaceful Elbaf is, and it's just not the same as it used to be. And it was because of King Harrow's rule. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but isn't the reason they're burning the library in the first place for that exact reason? Elbaf is literally the land of war, but they've gone soft. What Dory and Broggy are saying right now is exactly how the land of war should be executed. A good example of that is the High Era from Jujutsu Kaisen. I mean, come on, it was the golden age of Jujutsu sorcery, and Sukuna tells us directly in like the 3rd chapter that a hierarchy not based on strength is ridiculous. Elbaf, the war country, emphasis on the, has no ruler, when they have multiple candidates who can just take up the mantle through the thing they praise the most, combat and prowess. I don't know, was Imu really bad? The giants react to Dory and Broggy, asking how can they say such things? What even happened to them? The other giant who knows what happened tells the other one that they've been flipped and that they're not the same people they were before. They've become pitch black demons right down to their core. Funnily enough, right after acknowledging this, the giant gets flipped suddenly, completely against his will. He even says it out loud that he doesn't want to get flipped, and he even says that he's stuck, so he literally couldn't move from it. The transformation is shown to us through a board game where a piece is formerly white but flipped to become black. I don't know anything about any board games, but I'm gonna go on a whim and say this is the thing that Shikamaru plays. Yeah, I probably just embarrassed myself again, but it's just too much work to find out what the actual game is. Just tell me in the comments. Overall though, I thought it was a pretty cool depiction of the transformation. People have been doing theories on this, and I was supposed to make a video on it on Wednesday but got caught up scripting another video. Outside of other people's theories, I'm starting to think that this power that Imu has isn't something they can literally do to anyone. I actually think this is something that only works on giants because of their history. I mean, Harold was an ancient giant and he was the king not too long ago. Is it too far-fetched to assume that the fact that they're really close to the same generation as the ancient giants is the reason why they might be able to be, in quotations, flipped? What if all Imu is doing is extracting out their ancient giant genes that lay dormant because of King Harold's peace and conviction? I mean, that would explain how huge they become after the transformation. I think that makes more sense because if Imu just had the ability to do that to literally anyone else, the rest of the story just wouldn't hold up, so I'm banking on that idea. We get a double spread in the next page, and just as Broggy said last chapter, the guy who got flipped comes out saying he feels amazing. The Giants continue to run away saying they're in a very bad position, and then one of them mentions that Gaban was taken down. The others are shocked by that, saying it's impossible for that to be the case, and Ripley is shook as well. She's running towards where Colin is to go save him. We see the kids continue to walk after the Conquer's hockey flex from Imu last chapter, and as they're sleeping, they have a nightmare about, well, Imu, and suddenly the figment of their imagination comes to life through the nightmare fizzers and joins the battle. Longneck is announcing to the other fizzers to rise again because death means nothing to them, and we see all of them come back into battle after getting cooked by the Giants chapters ago. We finally see Longneck's actual face and hybrid form. Dog, when tech spoilers came out, I was expecting a really wacky and stupid design, but this might be the single best design on Elbaf, and yes, that includes Loki. This guy literally looks good. Who would have thought this dumb guy actually looked like this? Anyways, let's address the elephant in the room, his teeth. I'm pretty sure the only people we see with these kinds of teeth are fishmen, so how in the world did a fishman become a holy knight? It's questions like these that really make me think about the things we see in the story. We know fishmen are oppressed, we all know that, but when I'm seeing regular humans become holy knights like Gunko, and then a fishman of all people, I start to wonder what's actually going on. The celestial dragons are definitely terrible people, but what about Imu for real? I'm not gonna sit here and act like Imu's a good person or anything, that's definitely not the case, but this puts a lot of nuance to what we thought before. Hopefully we get answers soon because this is one of the most interesting things from this chapter for me. Longneck is saying that he's not gonna hold back, especially since Imu is on the island, so he tells the Nightmare Fizzers to go crazy and rampage all they want. Next page, we see the Useless Gang, Nami pointing out the obvious that there are more Nightmare Fizzers. Wow, Nami, you can count. No one even responded to her observation as well, like, yeah, there's more Nightmare Fizzers. Jinbei is over here sweating, talking about how things have spiraled out of control. Why is Mr. 1 billion berry bounty stronger than Sanji, Mr. number 3 on the crew, this useless? This is a serious question, I'm genuinely asking. Why is Jinbei actually so trash? He's literally being grouped up with Usopp. This guy has a 1 billion berry bounty and is apparently in the new monster trio with Zoro and Sanji. This guy. The story makes so much more sense when you actually read it. Ever since Sanji got it for Jinbei and Zoro got King of Hell, it was clear that they weren't on the same level as Jinbei. Usopp calls out for Dory and Broggy, telling them that this is their homeland and to open their eyes. How can they be turned into something with no pride at all? I can hate on Usopp all I want, all I know is that he's going to show up when he's actually needed. Jinbei though, he will be slandered forever because he's already peaked. He's done. This old guy has nothing more to offer. He has hockey, fishman karate, and still can't hang with the monster trio. Let it go. On the same page, the Giants who didn't get knocked out by Imu's hockey are seeing the kids continue walking. They note that the others couldn't save the kids and they're being protected by invisible thorns. Chat, this is what happened last chapter. This is a matter of me not reading Elbaf again. I forgot that on the kids were invisible thorns instead of visible ones. That's what happened here. The guy got stabbed by the thorn, that's where the blood came from, and he was stabbed in the eye, that's where the stare kanji came from. In the next page, Summers asks Imu how far are they going to take this, and Longneck says the board is already covered in their color. The nightmares are made of pure malice, and if they continue raging on, they'll eventually destroy themselves. Imu says in response though to continue until the spirit of Elbaf shatters. Had Harold not blundered in that critical moment, the nation of Elbaf would have long been under the dominion of Imu. We keep getting lore about Harold. I'm pretty sure a couple chapters ago, Summers said the exact same thing as well. The story of Elbaf, especially the flashback we're bound to get, is going to move mountains. I'm really trying to find out how Harold used to act and what actually happened to Loki. We get a flashback in the next page of Chopper following after Gaban as he's falling into the underworld. Chopper's scared, but he tells himself to stay calm and save Gaban, and suddenly he literally just starts running on air to catch up to Gaban. Chopper falls before him and uses guard point to break his fall. In the next panel of the double spread we're in, Loki's telling his brother to get on his knees if he wants to find out the true story of what happened between him and his dad, but the brother says he's not doing that. The reason I'm calling dude the brother is because of his name. You know what, I'm gonna just call him Haruden. Haruden. I'm gonna call him Haruden. I don't know if that's the right pronunciation or not, but that'll be the channel name for him. So all my real ones will know who I'm talking about when I say Haruden. Loki replies saying Harold was his dad too, and Haruden replies saying, and look what you did to him. Luffy says that Chopper fell down and no one else even knew who it was. It was only Luffy who did. And even he's confused on how he knew. I think this is the voice of all things suddenly giving Luffy this ridiculous feat, but this could also be another branch of observation haki that Luffy's suddenly getting. I really don't know, but this little spread is super fire. Apparently leakers were trying to push agendas saying Sanji didn't sense anything, but I'm pretty sure this piece of dialogue right here is from him. It doesn't matter, we're finally getting Sanji crumbs. I mean, come on, now my life is complete. The gang all left to go check out who fell, while Gerd, Goldberg, and Loki are all left behind. Loki asks if they want something on the way, and Loki tries to bribe them to get him out of his chains, but Gerd says that's just not happening. Suddenly Loki gets a call from the same person bro was talking to like 15 chapters ago. For some reason I vaguely remember this, but there was always some theories about who was on the phone back then. The person on the phone says that they can't really continue talking to Loki anymore because the situation is ridiculous on their end, and so they thank Loki for their comforting talks they've been having and they hang up the phone. Loki names them Mosa. I don't know, me personally, I think this is Yaru because of the snail's appearance. Of course, I can be wrong, but it seems weird that some random giant is calling Loki and having talks with him, especially after Blood's been banished for like 6 years. Only someone old enough should be able to compromise with him. We see Haruden and Gerd completely unable to, so I think Jaru's wisdom or maybe the fact that he knows the truth is the reason he's able to do it. Or maybe I'm talking complete BS and forgot a moment in Elbaf where he says the exact opposite. Let me know who you guys think Mosa is in the comments though. Luffy and the rest come back with Gaban and Luffy praises Chopper for saving him. Then suddenly Luffy realizes he's the real deal. He was on the Pirate King's ship. One of the giants says that he was one of the wings of the Pirate King alongside Rayleigh, and he was probably the third strongest on the crew. Zoro realizes this is why he was so tough and why he got loaded by him, and Luffy doesn't even care about them. He only cares that he knows Shanks. Gaban puts his finger up to say that he was the second strongest on the crew. Even while dying, he's gotta represent himself. Before we continue, let's get to talking about something because this fried me on Twitter. There are Zoro fans, real people, telling me that this text right here is showing a distinction between the wings of the Pirate King and strength. Let's go through it again. Gaban was one of the wings of the Pirate King alongside Rayleigh. He was probably the third strongest on their crew. Where is the distinction? If anything, the giant is saying that he was a wing because he was the third strongest on the crew. I have no idea where these guys got their reading comprehension skills from, but the reason this is important is because obviously this is confirmation that Sanji and Zoro are the wings of the Pirate King, and not only that, but their title is in reference to strength, as it always was. I had a guy try and argue with me on Twitter talking about how Sanji is a wing because of his importance to the crew. I fell for the rage bait, sue me, but the guy was saying that a swordsman and a cook is more important than a navigator, a doctor, a shipwright. Bro, I'm over here just shook that these people are real. Chopper tells some of the situation to Luffy, and while he's about to explain more, Imu's haki from last chapter runs rampant and it scares everyone there. Gaban seems to recognize the haki, maybe he experienced it on God's Valley, but Haruden is on smoke. He says that they need to go to the Sun Realm to save everyone. Luffy tells Chopper he doesn't need to explain any further and that he understands, and Loki laughs because this might be the opportunity to break free. He insists that they definitely need his help now of all times, and the chapter ends. Alright, that was a decent chapter. It wasn't as crazy as last chapter, definitely not, but the setup is definitely there for a masterclass next chapter. We're about to see the monster trio in action, maybe Loki in action, Luffy on Hots. Oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm gonna give this chapter a calm 8 out of 10. So what did you guys think of it? Let me know down in the comments as always. Make sure to like and subscribe. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.